Hey legends, well look, I didn't pick this one. The Panthers, they ran riot all over the Roosters. They just looked incredible. They just seem to have this knack of next man up, can pretty much walk in and do the job. You know, I've got Jack Black here. He did a bit of a promo with the Panthers for Kung Fu Panda 4, and I reckon they could have run him on the field and he would have pretty much done a job for them last night. It just seems that they just have this production line of superstars that are ready to roll at any particular point in time. They just look amazing and no doubt are one of the teams to beat in 2024. So with that in mind, let's get into it. Alright, so always looking to do things a little bit differently. What we're doing here is the studs from the game. So first up, we've got Taruva. He pumped out 70 points and managed to pick up his first hat-trick of tries. So well done to Taruva and anyone who owns him in a fantasy point of view. I just love his energy. He's always there, so fantastic result. Dylan Edwards, 59. He just never looks happy for me. I don't know what it is about Dylan Edwards, but he's just so damn consistent. So he ends up doing whatever he does without fuss and just gets on with the job. Such a workman-like kind of performance. So well done to Dylan Edwards. Yo, 57. Now, if there was ever a player that you'd put your house on and bank the interest, it'd have to be Isaiah Yo. He's just so damn good and you're almost disappointed with that 57 points. He's just such a gun, and look, if you captain Yo, I think you'd be relatively comfortable with the points you're banking this week. Terrell May, well, he pumped out an incredible 65. He just keeps delivering for somebody so young. We described him as the next Payne Haas, and I've also heard him described as Payne Haas Light, and I reckon he's got an incredible future ahead of him, no doubt about that. Nat Butcher, 67 points, pretty incredible with 65 tackles, so he absolutely earned that score. He won't do that every week, but he definitely stepped up in this game when he was needed, which was really awesome to see. And of course, Joey Manu, 61 points. He did everything but score a try, and we'll talk about that in a second. But these six guys here are without doubt the fantasy studs of this game. Let's talk about the duds. Okay, so without doubt, the number one dud from the game was the video ref Chris Butler, who made a shocking call to deny Manu that try. Even NRL head of football Graham Annesley has admitted, and I'll quote him here, he said, his team made an error. And the obstruction call on Jared Warrior-Hargraves, who was 20 metres away, was incorrect. Now, if you've watched it, Dylan Edwards was like 20 metres away from the play and there was absolutely no way he was ever going to get there. And even if he did, it wouldn't have stopped Joey Manu from scoring that try. So there you go. Now, I reckon even Penrith Panthers fans would agree with that call from NRL head of football Graham Annesley. It's just not a good look for the game, in my opinion. Okay, so next up, I feel a little bit sorry for Dane Laurie here. It's probably a little bit unfair to call him a dud, but the poor guy didn't even get on the park. I think he's averaging about 2 fantasy points a game at this point. I think he's lost over $100,000 worth of value, and it doesn't look like it's going to improve anytime soon. So poor Dane Laurie. Next up, Taylor May, 29 points. Now, hasn't he fallen from grace quickly? I don't have him, and I wish I could say that was through some sort of fantasy oracle-like knowledge. I actually really wanted to get him in early and just didn't have the funds to do it. So I'm very glad that I have dodged the bullet there with Taylor May. But you never know. Look, next week he's likely to come out and put on, 70, 80 points. Who knows? Now, the last guy on our list there, Dom Young. Talk about another fall from grace. 15 points this week, down from a ridiculous 77 points last week. So, ouch for those that bought him in and captained him this week. That is absolutely tragic. All right, let's keep moving. All right, what I'm going to do to accelerate these videos is just really kind of talk about some of the fantasy relevant players, or the players that did extremely well or extremely poorly. So I've got some green stars here. We're going to talk about Taruva. You can't ignore the fact that he got 3 tries. That's phenomenal, and 70 points. So amazing result. But it's all of these other factors that had a big impact. So 3 line breaks, 4 tackle busts, only the 1 missed tackle, just the 1 offload. So if you're passing to a winger, you're not getting it back. 1 turnover tackle, 1 error, so that's not great, and 140 metres run, and 1 kick defusal. So overall, a pretty decent night for Taruva. Congratulations on his hat-trick. That's the first time he's ever done that in the NRL. Now, personally, I wouldn't be rushing to get him in. He's not going to score 3 tries every week, but if you've got him, hang on to him. He's definitely going to start to make you a little bit of money. Nat Butcher, congratulations for his 67. Now, he did it the hard way. 65 tackles, 1 tackle break, a few missed tackles, which isn't great. Just the 1 offload, 1 turnover tackle, 28 meters gained, a penalty. You'd have to say that's a pretty decent game for a forward. He's not going to get those 65 tackles every week, though. So kind of like Taruva, he's had the defensive game that Taruva had from an attacking game point of view. He stepped up when he was needed, delivered 67 fantasy points for owners. But again, he's not going to really do that every single week. Now, Terrell May, he is just going to absolutely continue to skyrocket in value. 65 points this week in only 56 minutes played. So his PPM is insane. That's more than a point a minute, obviously. 38 tackles, 4 tackle busts, 2 offloads. Just the 1 error, 149 run meters, which is awesome. And unfortunately, a 6 again infringement, but overall amazing. If you took the punt on Terrell May and captained him, then awesome work. And as an owner who's had him for a few weeks now, I am absolutely pumped with that 65. So well done and thank you, Terrell May. Joey Manu, 61. Should have been more, should have been somewhere around the 70 mark. Could have easily been the number 1 point scorer in the game. Definitely deserved that try. Had a bunch of tackles, 10 tackle breaks. He was just electric in that space. Couple of offloads, 1 turnover tackle, 104 run meters, 1 kick defusal. And what I loved about Joey Manu is he just kept putting everything into it on the night. Certainly stepped up and did as much as he could to try and get a result for his team, which wasn't meant to be. Dylan Edwards, 59 points, managed to nab a try, kicked the 3 goals, had a try assist, a line break assist, 4 tackles, 6 tackle breaks, 3 missed tackles, which isn't ideal, 265 run meters, which is incredible, kicked for 12 meters, and managed the 1 escape from in goal. So overall, an amazing night for Dylan Edwards. He's just one of those players without fuss that just gets on with their business and executes to perfection. So 59 points well earned. Congratulations if you've got Dylan Edwards. Couple more players on this list. Now, Isaiah Yeo, 57 points. Now, I said earlier, you'd probably be disappointed with that, and not because it's bad, it's actually really good, but we're just used to Isaiah Yeo producing some amazing fantasy performances, and you'd have to describe this one as just a basic standard Isaiah Yeo night out. 57 points is probably on par for an Isaiah Yeo, and you know what? It's just because it's a workman-like performance for him. 35 tackles, 1 tackle break, couple of missed tackles, a few offloads, and 184 meters run. Just stock standard stuff from Isaiah Yeo. He's just Mr. Consistency. And from a fantasy point of view, we absolutely love that. Brandon Smith, a pretty decent game from him. 49 points. Only played the 52 minutes, so something to watch there. I guess the concerning thing here is without that try, the results are a little bit lower. Probably somewhere around the 40-point mark. And then we'd probably have a few more concerns. So that's just something to watch with Brandon Smith, especially knowing that someone like a Harry Grant can get that essentially without having to score those tries. So that's something to watch. He did pick up the line break, 26 tackles, 4 tackle breaks, 4 missed tackles, which is a concern. Just the 1 offload, 1 turnover tackle, 19 meters gained, and 73 kick meters. So not a bad night for Brandon Smith, but you'd be hoping for a bit more. It looks like those 52 minutes is about what we can expect in terms of time on the park. So let's keep moving. Okay, so next up, I just wanted to highlight Brad Schneider. So he's a little bit too expensive, 468k, especially compared to other cheapy halves like Lachlan Galvin. But you'd have to be pretty impressed with this 45 points. Essentially for a player who's coming in as the understudy for Nathan Cleary. He just really played that next man up to perfection. And I think a lot of clubs looking for a half will definitely pay attention to Brad Schneider. Liam Henry, 44 points in 41 minutes. So a PPM beast. Just comes on and works really hard. So 29 tackles, 4 tackle breaks, just the 1 missed tackle and 95 run meters. So nothing special, just gets on the park and really works hard. So 44 points, amazing result. Now jumping down to James Tedesco, you'd have to be disappointed with that 32 points. A lot of people bought him in this week and a lot of people were looking to captain him as well. He'll still make money with that 32. I think his break even was somewhere around the 22 point mark. But just no attacking stats really for James Tedesco. He did pick up a line break, only the 2 tackles, 5 tackle breaks, which is great, 1 missed tackle, 1 offload, 2 errors, 149 run meters, 4 kick defusals, and 1 forced dropout. So it was okay, but definitely well below what Teddy is capable of, and certainly well below what we would expect from a player who's worth 745k. All right, let's keep moving. Tupanua, I've got him flagged, 32 points in 54 minutes. Now that did include a try. Unfortunately, I think the Tupanua and Wong experiment is well and truly over. It's probably time to move on from both of these guys. He picked up the 25 tackles, 4 missed tackles, 1 error, 1 turnover tackle, 51 meters run, but really not exciting, and just doesn't seem to be having any real impact in the game. The try he did score was off a kick. I don't know, I'm just starting to think that there are significantly better options than either a Tupanua or a Wong. I know Wong didn't play, but you have a feeling that if anyone gets dropped, it's probably Tupanua and then Wong comes in. Who knows? But I reckon if you've still got Tupanua, it's probably time to start moving on and looking for some better options. Brian To'o, 30 points. Now, he's really returning back down to earth as well. Just 0 attacking stats from him. Picked up the 3 tackles, 5 tackle breaks, 1 error, which wasn't good, 1 turnover tackle, 155 meters run, and that's really about it. And not really have any impact on the game. It's just odd when Penrith score 22 points and a player like Brian To'o just really doesn't have any impact on the game. It's just not what you'd really expect. So there you go. Now, Taylor May, 29 points. He's 622k. And you'd have to start to worry a little bit now. This is 3 games in a row where he really just hasn't performed. Only 14 tackles, 1 tackle break, 2 missed tackles, 1 offload, 2 errors, 2 turnover tackles, 84 meters run, 34 kick meters, and 1 kick defusal. And unfortunately, a 6 again infringement. So again, kind of like To'o, he's really just not getting these attack stats. And I think that was his highlight in week 1. He looked hungry and he was chasing the ball. But last night he was just missing. Didn't really seem to get too involved in the game at all. And I think without some of these defensive stats, then he would have scored significantly worse than that as well. So one to watch. I reckon a sell if you've got him, or if you can be patient with him, just wait and you never know. He could come good when up against, some of those weaker teams. We just don't really know at this point in time. Okay, so 3 more players to round us out today. Dom Young, 15 points. You'd be really disappointed with that after his 70-odd last week. I think he got 77. I have to give it to the Panthers here. They were just all over him all night long. I think there was 3 and 4 players in every tackle with Dom Young. Just didn't manage to get any attacking stats whatsoever. Only the 3 tackles, 1 tackle break, 2 errors. That's probably due to the sheer amount of pressure that he continued to cop. 1 turnover tackle, 87 meters gained, and 2 kick defusals. But look, let's be honest, this is a night that Dom Young won't want to remember. And I don't think it'll be a normal night for Dom Young. I think he'll bounce back really strong. And no doubt when up against a Titans or maybe a Bulldogs or a Dolphins, he'll come out and absolutely smash it. But tonight definitely was not his night. A special mention for Maverick Geyer, 14 in 30 minutes. Nothing special, but it's always good to see a player make his NRL debut. He's the son of a legend, and it's always good to see a dynasty continue. Had huge crowd support and probably did everything that you would expect him to do on debut. Does he make the team next week? I'm not so sure, but definitely a player for us to watch at some stage in the future, no doubt. Now, Angus Crichton, 13. You'd be disappointed with that. He's such a weapon, or definitely a weapon of the past. But for whatever reason, just not getting any significant support from the Roosters at the moment. Only 27 minutes on the park. I really don't know what's going on with that sort of philosophy when the Roosters were under the pump all night long. Didn't seem to do anything wrong. 7 tackles, no missed tackles, so he wasn't pulled off for not doing anything significant there. No errors, no penalties, so I really don't know what the problem really was with Angus Crichton not getting the minutes. Now, I will say, though, if you've got him, he is a definite sell. So there you go. Okay, so these are our top 4 fantasy relevant players for the night. You've got Taruva with 70 points. You've got Terrell May with 65. You've got Nat Butcher with 67. And Joey Manu with 61. So there you go, guys. Look, if you've liked the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button for me. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, guys, get involved in the conversation via the comment section down below. And I'll see you all in the next video.